It was a moment of pure, unscripted chaos. A battle of wills played out on the world stage, not between politicians, but between a queen and a very stubborn umbrella. It's a fight we've all been in, but when the person wrestling with a wind-whipped brolly is Her Majesty Queen Camilla, the world can't help but watch, giggle, and hit that share button. These moments are pure gold for royal watchers. The second the perfect, curated image of the monarchy gets shattered by something as mundane as a gust of wind, we're reminded that behind the titles and tradition, they're a lot like us. Over the years, we've seen hats go flying and heels sink into the grass. All sorts of minor mishaps that make the royals that much more relatable. But there's something uniquely hilarious about an umbrella incident. It's a slapstick comedy staple for a reason. So what's the real story behind Queen Camilla's tussles with her umbrellas? Is there one famous incident, or is it a recurring theme of royals being humbled by a bit of bad weather? Today, we're digging through the royal blooper archives, separating fact from fiction, and figuring out why these delightfully human moments make us love the monarchy just a little bit more. You may have seen the headlines or heard the whispers online. The story is a good one, almost too good to be true. It goes like this. During a post-coronation tour of Northern Ireland, Queen Camilla found herself in a full-blown wrestling match with her umbrella. The scene is often described with cinematic flair. A sudden, violent gust of wind catches her clear umbrella, turning it into a wild adversary. King Charles, standing nearby, is reportedly seen trying to stifle a laugh as his wife valiantly fights to regain control. It's the kind of story that's made for the internet, a perfect blend of high-status pageantry and low-stakes physical comedy. The online world, as the legend goes, completely erupted. The tale of the Belfast Brawley is a masterclass in modern myth-making. According to various retellings online, this wasn't just a minor fumble, it was an epic struggle. The incident was said to have happened in May 2023, during the royal couple's first visit to the region since the coronation. The story often claims the visit was tied to Belfast hosting the Fleadh Cheoil na Éireann, the world's largest festival of traditional Irish music, which adds a layer of cultural significance. You can just picture the memes. Expectation versus reality gags with Mary Poppins floating gracefully, contrasted with a still of Camilla locked in a desperate struggle. Maybe even a photoshopped boxing poster. The thriller with the brawly. Some wags even joked, that umbrella is a Republican. The narrative was that the carefully managed facade of a royal tour had slipped, revealing a hilariously human scene that had fans in stitches across the globe. It's a fantastic story. It's visual, funny, and taps right into that sense of relatability we crave from the royal family. There's just one teensy-weensy problem. After combing through the archives of major news outlets and sifting through hundreds of photos, the evidence for this specific, dramatic umbrella battle in Belfast is, well, non-existent. The first clue that something's off is the context. While Belfast has hosted the Fleadh Cheoil before, it wasn't the backdrop for this particular royal visit in May 2023. The memes, the headlines, the widespread commentary, they don't seem to exist outside of the story itself. It looks like the tale of the Belfast Brawley is more of a royal urban legend. But just because that specific story is a myth, doesn't mean the Queen has a perfect record with her rain gear. While the Belfast story might be fiction, Queen Camilla's real-life struggles with British weather are no less entertaining. For a genuine, documented example, we can turn to February 2024. The Queen was arriving at the magnificent Salisbury Cathedral for a musical evening to celebrate local charities. The scene was set for an elegant entrance, but the weather had other ideas. As Her Majesty stepped out of her car, she was armed with a familiar royal accessory, the clear, birdcage-style umbrella. This design, a favorite of the late Queen Elizabeth II, is brilliant because it lets the public see the royal's face even in a downpour. On this chilly and blustery evening, however, it proved to be a bit of a handful. As Camilla greeted the waiting dignitaries, a gust of wind made its move. Photos from the event show the Queen holding on tight, her expression a familiar mix of determination and wry amusement. She knows the cameras are there, she knows everyone is watching, but in that moment, it's just her versus the gale. She expertly wrangled the unruly Brawley before handing it off to an aide with the triumphant air of someone who has just won a small but significant battle. It wasn't a huge, dramatic spectacle, but it was a quiet, relatable moment. It didn't spawn Rocky memes, but the affectionate online reaction was clear. This was the genuine article, a perfect, light-hearted royal moment that proved, once again, that not even royalty can control the weather. Queen Camilla's windy moments have definitely earned her a place in the pantheon of royals who've had funny equipment malfunctions. But the undisputed, gold medal champion of this category has to be an incident where a royal was the audience, not the protagonist. The scene: a solemn 2021 dedication ceremony for a new police memorial. The weather: blustery and damp. Then Prime Minister Boris Johnson, seated right next to then Prince Charles, decides to open his umbrella. What happens next is a masterwork of slapstick. Johnson fumbles with it, finally gets it open, and a gust of wind immediately flips it inside out with a cartoonish thwomp. He wrestles with the collapsed mess while, right next to him, Prince Charles is absolutely losing it. He tries to maintain his princely decorum, but the sight is just too much. His shoulders shake, he covers his mouth, and he breaks into a fit of genuine, uncontrollable laughter. It is, without a doubt, one of the most candid and hilarious royal reactions ever caught on film. Of course, we can't ignore the master of royal composure, the late Queen Elizabeth II. She was legendary. Her famous clear Fulton umbrellas were a signature part of her wardrobe, often with the trim dyed to perfectly match her outfit. This was a practical solution to keep her visible while staying dry. The dome shape was even designed to be more wind-resistant. But every now and then, a sneaky gust would catch the edge, and photographers would capture So why do we find these moments so utterly captivating? What is it about Queen Camilla fighting an umbrella or Prince Charles giggling at a politician's mishap that generates so much buzz? The answer is simple: it makes them human. For centuries, the whole point of royalty was to be separate, elevated, and almost flawless. But in the age of social media and 24-hour news, that's just not possible. And honestly, we don't want it to be. What modern audiences crave isn't perfection, it's connection. A royal slip-up delivers exactly that. When Camilla's umbrella goes rogue, it's the ultimate "they're just like us" moment. Every single person who has ever had an umbrella flip inside out on a busy street feels an immediate connection to that struggle. It's a hilarious reminder that beneath the diamond brooches, there's a person dealing with the same everyday annoyances that we do. The comedy also comes from the contrast. Royal events are choreographed down to the last detail. When an unpredictable element like a gust of wind throws a wrench in the works, it shatters that carefully constructed reality. The break from the script is what makes it so good. This is why Prince Louis' cheeky faces at the Jubilee went viral. It's why we loved seeing the late Queen quip to G7 leaders, "Are you supposed to be looking as if you're enjoying yourselves?" These aren't just bloopers, they are windows. They offer a rare, unfiltered glimpse of the personality behind the title. They transform royals from distant figures into relatable people, capable of being silly, getting frustrated, and finding humor in the absurdity of their own lives. From the mythical tempest in Belfast to the very real windy evening in Salisbury, the saga of Queen Camilla and her umbrellas is more than just a funny story. It perfectly illustrates our modern relationship with the royal family. We're fascinated by the pageantry, but we're captivated by the humanity. We appreciate the dedication to duty, but we delight in those moments when duty is briefly upstaged by the wonderful chaos of real life. These unscripted, unfiltered moments are what make these figures not just respected, but genuinely liked. They remind us that even in a palace, you can't always control the weather. But what do you think? What's the funniest royal moment you've ever seen? Was it an umbrella incident, a mischievous royal child, or a perfectly timed, unguarded comment? Let us know your favorite royal blooper in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the human side of the monarchy, don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal updates.